It's the worst of the CBC for February 7th, 2020, the show where I watch the CBC so you don't have to. And never has that been more true than today. Sometimes people say, how do you do it? How do you watch a full hour of CBC every day? And I get used to it, but today was literally torturous. Waterboard me. I would rather be waterboarded than rewatch what I just did. The first, 40 minutes was just nothing. It was just nothing. Coronavirus, but saying nothing. Sometimes we're gonna follow the plane, and then it's snowing in Canada. Oh, it's snowing in Canada in February? Really? This is the national news right now? Just stories about absolute nothing that don't need to be said. Can we at least get to the pro-Trudeau propaganda? I said something to talk about, and thankfully there was some Trudeau propaganda later on. So that was good. But if they're going to spend half the time talking about what they want to, just ignoring everything else, I'm doing that on this episode as well. So let's just debunk their nonsense. One, they're praising Justin Trudeau for being in Africa and campaigning for the Security Council seat at the UN. UN. Okay, one, I'm not going to go into why the UN is bad. Everyone knows my feelings on it. The UN is just a den of terrorists and dictators who enable pedophiles. We should deport everyone in the UN and pick it up and just put it in North Korea and then build a giant statue of Nikki Haley in its place. And that's what okay, so they didn't even talk about the need for a Security Council seat, why it'd be good. They're just he's in there, he's trying to get the Security Council seat, and Messiah Jerry's there, and we're going to get it. And then the other thing, blows my effing mind, is the next story they do is how CBC broke the story that the costs of the Trans Mountain Pipeline are ballooning. Really? When you put the government in charge of an infrastructure project, the costs go up significantly? Oh, who would have ever thought this? Who could have ever predicted that costs would increase if you put these idiots in charge of the pipeline? Me, and you, everyone. Oh my God. And this is how they slam can we handle the cost? Well, maybe if we didn't force private industry out in the first place and they built the goddamn pipeline, we had to buy it for $4 billion, it ended up being $7 billion, and then we have to pay an extra $12 billion to build the goddamn thing because it's billions of dollars over budget because it's being run by Trudeau and his idiot friends. And they're trying to build it and also trying to stop themselves from building it. So of course the cost ballooned when you put the government in charge of an infrastructure project that was gonna be built for free in the goddamn first place. And they didn't even mention that. Drives me up a goddamn wall. So that's the worst covered story. The biggest omission of the day, which is whatever I want to talk about now because I watched that hour. So you sit the fuck down and you listen to me rant right now. Good news though. Good news. We are launching a brand new news site that will be counter to CBC. So link in description to the National Telegraph, the new TNT. Some of you might have wondering, where did TNT go? That was the new Telegraph. We've sort of rebranded Phoenix from the Ashes. It is now the National Telegraph. The website has changed. All the old articles are up there. All of the staff, editors, writers, all the major infrastructure and all the major people involved, we're now the National Telegraph. The new Telegraph is dead. Phoenix from the Ashes. So I highly recommend, if you like this show and you hate the CBC and you just want something better, come over to TNT. The National Telegraph, we have actually conservative writers, not like the other non-mainstream outlets that started out as conservative, now just filled with a bunch of lefties. So if you want conservative news, analysis, if you want me, if you like me ranting, you should go to the National Telegraph. Also, my friends, Rob at Patriotic Dad, he will be there. A lot of great, really smart conservative writers, young, less young, me, oldish. They'll be at the National Telegraph. It's real independent, unlicensed news media. So we're really excited about this. Today, the website has gone on. It's fully live. It's operational. The CBC didn't even report it because they know it'd be their death. This is the Death Star to the CBC. We're going to, blow it up nerd style. Someone fill in the Star Wars reference. Alderaan. That's the CBC. So that's what we're doing. And I'm really excited about this venture because, again, there's a lot of talented people on there. It's actually conservative staff. All the things that you say, why isn't anyone covering this? We will be covering it. So if you like the show, if you like me, you should follow the National Telegraph. Follow them on Facebook, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram. Check out the site below. I promise you will not regret it. It will be the greatest decision of your entire life. So what does the CBC get today? I'm talking about nothing. Can't give it a 10 out of 10 because I hate throwing around the 10s, even though they deserve it. But we'll give it an 8 out of 10 on the Rosemary Barton scale. So thank you, everyone, for coming. There will be another video tomorrow, hopefully. And in the meantime, check out our new website.